Slaughterhouse red. Heat of the moment red. A red flag to my sanity. I lose time when I see red. I don't know my own name. I have no sense of place. All I know is the injustice of things stolen. And I want to fight and hide at the same time. Push this frustration deep down to the back of my mind. Try to press ruthless the injustice behind my bone till the marrow is thick with a sorrow that will kill me if I do not rampage. You become vexed by toxic lies. A monstrous ocean that summons lightning from the skies. In a clash, a mighty war for the souls of humanity. You are summoned to shatter us with your song, truth. We call upon you, do not hold your hungry tongue. I ask you, you may rip my skin from my eyes. You may shred my lips so I cannot deny. You might burst my eardrums, strip me to my bones, but it is time.
The Three Furies is basically about the exploration of anger, but coming out of, first of all, I'm a woman, so I can only speak out of a woman's perspective. And secondly, I'm black, so I'm speaking out of a black, angry woman's perspective.
See, I see what's going on here. I'm the bottom of the food chain. I'm black and I'm female. What am I supposed to do? Join the queue? Am I supposed to booty bounce an ounce of my flesh to get my dream? Is that how I get this? Is that the price of the ticket? Is that how I reach my nirvana? Well, you know what? I don't wanna.
I think women and anger together get a bad reputation. You know, I think women's anger is never taken really seriously. We're either considered to be hysterical or too emotional, or you've got issues, or you've got bad attitude, or you're a B-I-C-T-H. You know, when really you might just be asserting yourself as a woman and not second guessing yourself. You know what you want, and you're prepared to stand up for what you believe in. It's too simple. It's too simplified to say, oh, all black women are angry, all black women have got an anger issue problem. There are some deep-seated reasons for why we should be angry, but we also have to look at how black women are actually extremely accommodating, are extremely patient, but there are certain ways that anger and that frustration might manifest itself outwardly, which is misunderstood, I personally feel.
Three women coming together and each on her own speaking about whatever it is that makes you angry and how do you go about that.
Anger is a cliche. It's selfish, it's ugly, destructive, it's for people who can't control themselves. Well, I'm better than fighting for myself. I'm better than speaking up for myself. Well, I'm better off dead.
Because we often don't speak about our anger. It's normal for a woman to just blatantly say, I'm going to shut up, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to accept the situation for what it is. But no, we speak out. That's what the Three Furies is about. The original piece about the Three Furies is it's a Greek mythology, if I'm saying it correctly, and it's about three gods or goddesses, and each on her own has a certain power, and the power is actually to destroy whatever it is that makes other women become a victim.
They were born from 3 drops of blood falling from the heaven earth when Uranus was castrated by his wife Gaia, and Gaia was Mother Earth, and she wasn't really feeling the way he was treating their first children. And they are the protectors of family and children and women, abuses against women, and in all of that you actually get protection, if you like, for the whole of humanity.
Her voice brought yellow flowers from home, and they dance about my head, blood bursting lightly at my fingertips. Her voice, it brought food from my hometown. It brought rainwater that was on the arid land of the numbness of my heart. It had a frozen fist about it, and no key or no code could unlock its merciless fingers before. And I grabbed this flask, I stood, my feet rooted to my fury song, my ears alert at the core, and this piece of glass held me like a trophy. I flung open the door, he jumps off of her, he shouts, Get out of here, you bitch, you slut, you whore. And what I expected to find standing there, some stinking gross bore, was a man dressed in a judge's wig, a white shirt and tie, boxer shorts and a briefcase. He was a man of law. But I bellowed, I roared, loud enough to jab this piece of glass into his gut. This slut turned vigilante, enjoying the wetness of his life seeping onto my hand. This excuse of a man.
So why anger? I initially, like I said, I wanted to explore quite a few themes within Traveling Like My One Woman Show, and one of them was anger. But what's happened is that the actual Three Furies has kind of snowballed and has taken on a life of its own. We just sat down as three women and just spoke about some of our experiences where we had been very angry and frustrated, and how we felt we could or couldn't channel our anger, what made us angry, where we put it if we couldn't channel it, and some really interesting stuff started to come out, and we've been unpacking it ever since.
It's actually an open dialogue for other women to see how a lot of women actually walk around with a lot of anger in them but nobody to talk to, and we're actually that open dialogue for them to speak out. Whatever it is that you're carrying along with you, know that you're not alone.
A brother recalls how his sister came home in tears, marked and older than her 16 years, knees trembling, too traumatized to speak. The words, cold nights, wrapped in, patchworks of anxiety sewn together unsteadily when no one remembers her dignity. Apparently, she had the audacity to wear a miniskirt to Newark taxi rank today. 50 grown men, brothers, fathers, uncles, co-workers, lovers, who should have been protecting them, taunting them, insulting them. They took pictures. Women should be seen and not heard. No. Women should be heard and not seen. No. Women should not be seen and not be heard. Some of us still have to walk, one step at a time towards our dreams, the texture of our thoughts, somewhat coarse, unsafe, and terrorized, harassed, and cursed. They deserve it. Some of them like it. That's all they're good for. They're so emotional, you can't trust them. All she did was choose to wear a miniskirt to Newark taxi today. Here, where menace freely roams the streets, all bulging stomach and bravado, a stranger who feels entitled to put you in your place.
I could say it was for me easy to write some pieces. Why? Because I've been through a lot. So I knew where that type of anger would come from. I could stir it up, actually.
I've been putting up with this mess, so stay off my case. But since the age of 9, he came into the house. He has been doing nothing but flossing around. Now my cup is so full, filled with a lot of anger. So I had to do something, but come up with this bad.
And it's been something since childhood. A lot of things happened, but I was never able to talk or say how I felt, or nobody to give you that tap on your shoulder like, hey, it's okay to feel this way, or whatever it is that's bothering you. Just talk.
Motherhood, the toughest hood to be at. Tougher than any other hood I know. It requires a lot. Without qualification. Had I been given the choice, hell yeah, I'd still go for an application.
So what I would do is I would write. So since the age of 9, I started writing. So when I heard about the Three Furies and they actually I came in contact with Tina and Nambali to be part of the Three Furies, I was like, oh, this is just a piece of cake, because I mean, I've been doing this shit from the age of 9.
He came in with the man, all he's after is your soul. He gets up in the morning, expect things to be done. Like, hit your sandals and how would you like your breakfast, sir? Now, is we that stupid? Or was he being smart? Neither of the two was true, because he was the problem. Give me my food, wash my clothes, address me with that. Give me my food, wash my clothes, address me with that.
Yeah, I did do something with a filmmaker, Sharon Jane, in Holland. We came together one day and we had to figure out, like, okay, what do we need for the film? Yeah, the next day it was filming time, and I did my 4 or 5 pieces. Motherhood, I did Winter, I did Innocence, I did Daily Routine, and I did Truth. And Truth is the event film that we're using now for our piece. Sometimes we think too much about how we should tell it, bring it, or say it. It is what it is. If it's the truth, you have only one way of saying it. Some say it hurts. Others find telling it disgusting. Some don't even know it exists. Others are still looking for it. Some found it and don't know what to do with it. Some live it, some die for it. Some are born that way and don't know any other way. You can try to run from it, but one day, that one day, you gon' get it. I like telling the truth. Maybe cause it represents me. Maybe it makes me ugly. But on the other hand, it can make you wanted for knowing the truth or knowing too much. Some get paid to get rid of it. That's how annoying it can be to those who do not know how to live by it. That one rule, one principle, one meaning. But how do we receive it? How do we embrace it? How do we let go? How do we hold on to it? To come to think of it, that all I got is my balls and my word. And what do I get in return? Pain. Pain and more pain. While I am disembodied. Because it is what it is. Whenever you are. Yeah, for me, it's personal and artistic because it's me. It's me, Clara Opoku. Whatever I do on stage on the Three Furies, it's me. Yeah.
I don't compromise. I demand better. I demand more these days. These days I say you're out of order. This is bullshit. Fuck you, and you're not going to get away with it. These days. These days, I resist. I resist. You see, I have learned that sometimes the only recourse you have is the one that you effect. So I will forgive you some other day. Today, I start with forgiving myself. Today, I start with loving. Loving. Me.
Dear Anger, how are you? I hope you are, well, it's been a long time since I left you. I'm writing to let you know that I'm fine, that I made a new friend called Fury, and she's just great. She's so funny. Last night, she made me tell this dude on the train he's talking crap. He's like, "Hi, what's your name? Yeah, I like your breasts. Can I have your number?" As if it was a real conversation. I told him he was whack and that he needed to come better than that. She made me tell this guy, I have mace and I will fuck you up if you come any closer. She made me say, this is the last time he lays his hands on me. So I pack nothing but my mother's ashes and leave a life of violence behind me. She made me tell the court that I was wearing dungarees, so how does what I was wearing blame me? She made me say, women's rights are human rights. She made me say, give me the right to work this land, get the fair price for my mule work. She made me say, no one has the right to put their fingers inside me to test my virginity just because I stand with my father and my brothers on the front line for change, for democracy. She made me say, equal work, equal pay, and rights to creche facilities. She made me say, Mother Nature has the same rights to be free from abuse and rape as humanity. Fury made me say that none but God shall judge me. She made me stand when I wanted to fall in a heap and melt away, put a gun to my head and shout, I slay this body in the name of injustice. She made me have a day full of thoughts I could call entirely my own, and it was bliss. I thought, this is what living is. And the struggle is raw and beautiful. I hold Fury to my chest because while I was peeling myself off the floor, she had clawed and broke down the locked door of anger. Behind it was civil war, with my shackled self and the one that wanted more. Fury deserves an encore. So anger, I do not ask your forgiveness for my deserting you. You were a pain, an indefinable strain on my heart, my body, my life. So goodbye. Good riddance, and I do not wish you the best of luck, because I am too happy now to give a fuck. Yours truly, woman.
Yeah.